I think that you should come back home.
Remaining, ball on the blue side. It's not gonna happen. STMC Gold take the grand final.
Because with live sport cancelled and footy fields deserted, there's never been a better time to be a gamer.
Second attempt, but no boost to fall through. He's trying desperately to get another touch, but he just cannot get there. And with 5 seconds remaining, that could have been the last attempt. Colt's gonna get one more goal in. And STMC Gold take game number 1 with that goal right there. Granted,
playing online games in a school uniform is now the next big thing.
He is now in a position. The C4 comes out, melts out. Lightning can't get the follow-up frag.
This is the world of esports, aka sporting comps played via online games.
it's just like any other sport. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Week 5 of the XPHSL Rocket League. I am Max Formal von Neumann, feeling a few pounds lighter now that that beard is gone, and I'm excited to bring you what will be our final week of group stages here at XPHSL. For the past month, realistically, we've been seeing all these teams compete, trying to secure those spots in the top 4 within their conferences, and at the end of today, we will know those 8 teams advancing to that knockout stage. As a result, the 2 matches we're going to be bringing you today are going to be very critical ones in determining not only who qualifies, but the seeding as well, where they lie. We'll be getting to more of that, though, in just a few moments. But first, I do want to thank our sponsors again for this event, starting, of course, with ZQ Racing. I mean, as always, I get to sit in the wonderful ZQ Racing chair. I actually just bought a ZQ Racing chair earlier today, as a matter of fact, delivered. So it will eventually get to my place. I can't really show it off when it's in my house, but what I can tell you is they have an amazing internal steel frame, adjustable armrests, full 180 recline, the neck and lumbar pillows, just super comfy all around. I mean, before the highlight of my week was coming to sit in this chair, no longer the case because I'm going to be having one myself soon, so every day will be a highlight, I suppose, with the Gamer Series. Furthermore, I'd like to say a big thank you to the Canberra Havoc. They're helping prizing for the winners, I should say. Coaching for that winning team when they are able to finish at the end, so it's going to be super exciting to see how they do. Furthermore, sorry, this microphone's like right in my face. Furthermore, with the Canberra Havoc as well, they're a very, very good team. They did just participate in RLCS, and they made a very, very, very deep run. They couldn't quite make that top 4. Regardless, they are one of the best teams in Oceania, so that winning team, gets to have some coaching. I believe it's from Leduc, but, I'm sure if you asked nicely Walcott and Spydoge, they'd probably be willing to lend some hints and tips as well. I mean, who do you think taught Leduc how to play? It was clearly those ones. So, knowing that, moving forward, let's take a look at our schedule for today. Our first match will consist of the OC Redbacks taking on Marsden, and following that, it will be Chisholm Maroon versus St. Edmunds. So this interesting thing about this first match is Marsden, the one school in Conference A, not part of OC or STMC. They are kind of been that lone wolf in Conference A. However, they're also the team in first place, and I'm pretty sure they've been doing that undefeated. So one of the favorites in this upcoming matchup will be very exciting to see if they're going to be able to continue that streak. And then in our second match, Chisholm Maroon versus St. Edmunds C1. Chisholm Maroon also sitting pretty strongly in their conference. I believe they are in second place behind St. Edmunds C2. St. Edmunds C1, meanwhile, they're sitting in third place. So it's a battle of second and third. It could be a highlight, perhaps, of a future matchup once we get to our knockout stage. However, Chisholm Green sitting in fourth place would love to overtake either of these sides, so that's going to make things very, very intense in our second match of the evening. Now, that said, we are getting close to kickoff, so soon I imagine the players will be jumping onto the pitch, and then we will get into it as we take one last look at a couple of these insignias here, the Redbacks 2 and Marsden State High School, as soon we will be going off. I like seeing, a cricket bat, a sunny beach, a book to read, musical note, but no Rocket League car, Ormiston. So I'm kind of wondering, and no spider either, no actual redback. And for that reason, Marsden, they have the shark. The shark lives in that ocean, so I kind of feel like Marsden probably going to be my favorites, not just because they're undefeated, but also because of, the insignia is a bit better, as soon we will be going ahead with this one. I am excited to kick this off. I'm excited to see if the OC Redbacks 2 are going to be able to take down Marsden in this upcoming match. I'm curious what you think as well, Twitch chat. I see you over there. At the moment, only our admin has dropped a couple pogs, but I'd like to see who you guys are rooting for, who you think is going to win this one. Obviously, it's going to be a close match. I hope we don't get 2 3-0s like we did in the past. I want to see these games go the distance, so hopefully that will be the case in this showdown. And as soon as those players do jump onto the pitch, we will be ready to kick this one off. Again, I'm kind of leaning towards Marsden. I do think they are going to take this one 3-1 at the moment. I'm kind of really hoping that, they can just put forth that strong performance. The reason why, they are that #1 team and kind of will be proving it today. That is what I'm hoping will be the case. And we will hopefully be getting us kicked off very, very soon. Apologies for the slight delay. I think we're just sort of possibly having a bit of a possible lobby issue. I'm not too sure. I saw players jumping in before, but that's all good. Yeah, so... Oh, no, the players are jumping in. I am noticing. I'm seeing Demolishia. I'm seeing S. I'm seeing Frank. I'm seeing Betryax. Good old Betryax. He's going full try-hard today as well, and that's what makes things super, super exciting. As here we go, kicking off this first match. Zafrax looking to set something up off of the backboard, but Trax actually throws it across the middle of the pitch. Still going to be attacking the St. Edmunds side. See what Frank is able to do. Set up something. S through the box, able to make a bit of a save right now as we're pushing it forward. And all right, yeah, that's okay. Good. The audio issues have been fixed on my end, so I can actually hear myself think finally. Zafrax is going to try to put on the shot. It's going to be saved at the moment. Now it will be Chisholm Maroon in blue. St. Edmunds are playing in orange. Dead. Playing off the wall right now. Passes it back to S. That's going to be the first shot with an actual chance of pushing through. Not going to be a goal just yet. Frank actually misses on the clear attempt, which means Dead can keep that attacking pressure on. Demolashia, though, unable to find the aerial, but Triax doing a good job in sort of intercepting it off the backboard. Puts it up. S actually is going to punish the overcommit coming from the Chisholm Maroon side. That means Demolashia has a chance. It's off the backboard. Dead got bumped away, so he wasn't able to take the shot. I believe that was Frank who was able to just take Dead out of it. That's a risky clear. Bitriax kind of gets away with one right there. It did look as if St. Edmunds was going to try to punish, but they're unable to get it this time. Ooh, trying to set up off of the corner was a little bit too close to the goal, so it's a pretty easy read for St. Edmunds. More attacking pressure coming from this orange side. Perhaps it's actually a pass clear, but Triax gets it to the corner, looking for that follow-through. S goes up with it, and it's going to try solo play it across the middle of the pitch. Caught by Frank. Dead. Off of the back. Actually kind of cut off a teammate right there, so a little misstep in communication. Dead still going to go for that solo play, but Triax from underneath puts a stop to it. Awkward flick. Gets a second touch, popping it up in front of the net. You do have Demolashia there, so he'll be able to get back to that backboard as OC still trying to find a way in, but now they're racing back on defense. Dead isn't able to get there in time, but Triax does just enough to make the save. 2 minutes in, no goals scored yet, but this is probably the highest level game we've actually seen so far this season, and I can tell that just from these first 2 minutes. Both these teams playing a very, very high level game right now. They're playing fast, they're making solid contact with the ball. S, of course, whiffs it as soon as I'm giving both these teams compliments. You know, a little bit of Caster curse right there, but that's to be expected. As Dead gets the ball over the box, can't quite clear through the corner. Frank putting some pressure on. Redbacks might have had an opportunity, but unfortunately Zafrax didn't get that second touch that would have been needed. So once again, it will be Marsden looking to create something. S back across the middle of the pitch. Frank gets underneath it, clear straight down the middle. Should be easily caught by Dead, who I love the positioning of that touch. Actually puts it right in that awkward spot where everyone on the Redbacks kind of has to race to that corner. In fact, all three are still at that corner right now. Fortunately for the Redbacks, though, it wasn't a very good play through said corner. It could have left them exposed had they not been careful. Oh no, very risky defensive clear attempt from Demolashia. Ball off the backboard. We could have seen that shot. Frank didn't really push forward. Zafrax too late in no man's land right there. Won't be able to challenge it. Frank lets the ball pass him. Betrax able to make that save. Once again, it does look as if Marsden's going to get some attacking pressure through, albeit only momentarily. Ooh, Zafrax lets it sail overhead, but Triax having to be that last line defender is actually doing a pretty good job. Shot from S. Should be saved by Frank. It was actually a whiff, and once again, but Triax forced to play from the corner to make that save. Triple commit on defense, yet only Betriax will play through the box. Frank playing out of the box, straight down the middle. That's an open net, but it's not quite accurate enough. Second attempt from Frank as well was pushed a little bit too far to the right. Defense had recovered. 1 minute, 7 seconds to go. Still a 0-0 game. Zafrax wins a bit of a 50-50. Ball back towards the center. Shot from Betriax. Not quite accurate. As still there for that save. Betriax, though, will cut it off. Keeps the offensive pressure there. It's Zafrax. Hires to play through the corner instead of going for a more centered approach. I'm not sure I liked it in that situation. Frank, though, still looking to follow through. Shot from Zafrax. It's a quick little double touch, and that's going to be the go-ahead lead for the Redbacks with 48 seconds remaining. Watch this again, Zafrax. I mean, call it what you will. I'm still calling it a double touch because, hey, car, backboard, car, goal. That angle was super tight. It was almost like a pinch with how tight it was, so I can understand not wanting to call that a double touch, but you cannot deny the fact that the Redbacks just took a big 1-0 lead. Pressure now coming through. It will be Frank looking for that touch. It's off at the backboard. S and Dead actually try to pinch it through, but Frank is still keeping the attacking pressure there. Dead trying to play through the box. Gets a good second touch. That's needed. 25 seconds remaining. Batrayax off of the wall. It's actually caught off by Dead. 20 seconds to go. Last chance for, realistically, Marston to tie this game. That shot was looking okay, but the defense gets in the way. S now trying to set himself up. Plays through the corner. Frank can't not make the read. Instead gets bumped. 7 seconds to go. Dead pops it up, looking to follow through. Gets a second touch. It's off of that backboard in front of the net. 0 seconds. You can see Demolashia keeping it in the air. S or Dead. One of them's got to go. It's a pass. It's a goal. Dead gets it in at 0 seconds to take us to a Game 1 overtime. Marsden coming up clutch. I thought Dead was passing it back down to S, but the angle was good, and that's going to be a tie game. Fireworks in our first one. We go 4.5 minutes without a goal, and then 2 of them, 1 on each side, to get us to that overtime. Ball rolling towards that net slowly. Frank actually really a slow play on that one, and S will start to move forward to challenge. Beats out the defender. Ball behind them. Dead has a chance if he spikes it down. Oh! Couldn't quite get that ball low enough. Zafrax, though, that's a very weak clear. Demolashia looking to punish. Demolitia, I should say. Looking to punish. Instead, it's Dead off at the backboard. Throwing it to that next wall. Still will be a shot from S, and it's going to be in. Overtime victory goes to the team who scores the 0-second goal to complete the comeback. Marsden getting it done at the nick of time. Look, they had the lead for exactly 0 seconds in regulation. In fact, they were either tied or behind the entire time, and yet they are the team that gets the win. That 0-second goal coming from Dead before was going to be one of the best I think we have seen. An absolutely phenomenal job from this Marsden side, and curious to see where they're going to go from here and how the OC Redbacks will be able to recover from that as we get ourselves ready to go for our next matchup. Hello again, everybody. Yes, this time I am wearing the headset because, you know, it is comfy. It's not that I'm allergic to headsets. It is nice. I just, you know, like to be able to hear myself think when wearing it. So hopefully we will be able to continue. I mean, it's hard to think sometimes when playing Rocket League. I will admit that. It is a game largely based on instinct. You have to still have that game knowledge. It's not that it's a completely void of thinking game, but instinct can carry you a long, long way. So, Brenny the Beast, I noticed, has jumped in. Was not playing that first. I'm curious who Brenny the Beast has actually subbed in for, if anyone. Doesn't actually look like Benny is playing, so it's just another player in this lobby. That's all well and good. Zafrax tried to get it through the corner. It's cut off by S. Now, if this Marsden team gets the win here, they will advance to 2-0. They will be on match point and looking to continue just to be that #1 team as Zafrax tries to clear it past the center of the pitch. S puts it up, gets it to the backboard, but Demolitia actually slow playing it. A miss by Batrax means more attacking pressure is going to be coming from the Marsden side. Dead throws it, touches a shot. Defense is there for the save. Frank does get the touch. Demolitia actually doesn't keep that attacking pressure still there. S being pressured, losing out. Dead now racing back off of the backboard. Going to have to find a very critical clear. Demolitia instead will be the one to push it towards the side. Frank running into a bit of trouble as well. Loses possession of the balls. Corner play, for the most part, actually has been favoring the OC side. I feel like they are more akin to try to play through the corner, or it does look like Marsden is more willing to play straight down the center. And typically the teams that play straight down the center will have more success. Corner is easier to play, but at the same time, it's also easier to defend. Middle play, higher risk, higher reward, but so far what I've seen from Marsden, they've been doing a very good job at mitigating some of those risks as their mid-pitch rotations have been super strong. If Dead makes contact with that ball, that could have been a very deadly shot. Instead, we're a minute and a half into game number 2. Scoreline still 0-0 as S goes up to make the read. Actually touches it straight out, but with no power behind it. Frank can put a shot in. Dead barely touches that ball. Does get enough of it, though, to make that save, but Batrax is going to keep the attacking pressure on. Backboard setup. Zafrax is there. Dead again making that save right now, and a lot of effort being put on by Dead right now to keep the score 0-0, even getting demos on the Frank as well, but Batrax had the shot straight down the middle. Demolitia had rotated back, so the save is made. The OC Redbacks went on attack right now. They're very slow pushes. They're trying to focus more on making contact with the ball, not letting it get behind them, than putting on like absolute banger of shots. And that does mean, you know, an extended attack, but there hasn't been that many actual shot threats coming from the OC Redback side yet. I want to see a bit more velocity on these touches right now. I think that could get the defense to bite, and it could create some more opportunities for this blue side as S maintaining possession. And a triple commit in the corner is definitely not what you want to see from the Redbacks. Does look like Batrax is going to be able to recover, but with no boost, it's a very risky situation. Frank needs to get a wheel on the ball. It's successful for doing so. As now we see ball again rotating straight down the middle. Batrax slow pushing towards the goal. Defense able to make the save for now. Still the Redbacks on the attack. Gets the ball once more to the backboard, but Dead there to save and actually turns it back to an attack. That's an open net. That's going to be a goal. Dead takes the lead with 2 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in game number 2. Watching this again. Dead, it was a 1v1 situation, and Batrax unfortunately just did not have the speed to beat out Dead. A very critical 1-0 lead right now. This is exactly where Marsden wants to be. Holding on to this will get them through. They already have secured a top 4 spot, just based on the points alone. However, a win here, I think, secures them at least top 2, if doesn't actually win them the conference, giving them that number 1 seed. So a fair bit to play for Marsden right now. As Frank puts the ball up, following underneath it, it will be Frank again. Tries to get that mid-pass to Safract, but Demolition makes the read, makes the save. Actually nearly had a chance to turn that into a shot, just didn't quite get the angle needed. Dead will now try to play through the corner, and S with the follow through. Ball in the box, Frank. Nice clear out of Frank, actually. Gets it straight over the top of everyone. Demolition, awkward play in the corner, and you can see defenders getting stuck against each other. Batrax takes it over the top of one. Dead does catch it. It just hands the ball off to Demolition, who tries to follow it through. Zafrax now trying to play pre-jump defense. Eventually does get some wheels on the ball, but Dead is able to recover. Nearly takes it the distance. Batrax is going to go opposite corner. Demo, 2v3 power play. Zafrax misses the ball as well. Scary situation right now. Shot from Batrax was good, but the defense was that little bit better. Under a minute remaining. Ball in a shooting position. That's going to be a goal, but Triax gets it in with 53 seconds remaining. Off of that pass through the box. We can see the replay right here. Demolition just gets a little bit caught up on the backboard. Wasn't able to react fast enough. A great pass from Frankfurt to Batrax, and that's going to be a 1-1 game. So, very, very tight match so far. We could be looking at our second overtime. Either way, I do feel like the next goal in regulation or in overtime probably takes this game. So a near golden goal situation, 42 seconds remaining. Dead actually has a semi-open net right now, but Triax is going to have to try and make that save. Frank with the demo as well means that entire side of the pitch should have been unabated. The dunk from Dead at a timely moment makes it a 2-1 game. Watching this replay again, but Triax thought there was more time and space. Not to be the case. Dead just absolutely bangs that one into the goal. And now with 34 seconds remaining, this could be game number 2 going to Marsden, and a very strong place to be within this series. Dead goes up, tries to make a touch on the ball, actually does beat out one defender. Now tries to get to the corner as well. Zafrax. Oop. Can't make the save. Ball sails across the net. 18 seconds, and for the Redbacks, they got to get some momentum going. Now Dead nearly ices this game. So does S, but both of them can't quite put it in, and now they've got to race back on defense. Last attacking opportunity for the Redbacks. Shot on target, saved by Dead, but Frank keeps the attacking pressure there. Through the corner, shot from Batrax. That's going to be good with 3 seconds remaining. Once again, a tie game in the dying seconds, just like in game 1. Batrax, 2 defenders there actually had a chance. Demolition tried to give space to S, but was not going to be the case. So, 3 seconds remaining right now. Tie game 2 apiece. We will most likely be going to that overtime. Dead just downs the ball. So, 2 games, 2 overtimes, another golden goal situation. Very curious to see if the side of the OC, Ormiston College, if they can bring it back, make this a 1-1 series. Zafrax has an opportunity, plays through the backward. Demolition does step forward. However, Frank, playing a deeper rotate, is able to read it and make that better play. Dead, playing it off the wall. Batrax has to push forward, but instead hesitates, still gets there eventually. Bit of a weak shot. Double commit, though, coming from the defense out of the box. Dead needs a strong contact, able to get it, and that should quell the attack for now. In fact, Dead's looking for the counterattack. Shot was too low. Zafrax able to make the save. Dead now across the center of the pitch. S is there, shot from mid-pitch, saved by Frank. It's a weak touch. Someone's got to go up for it. It looks to be Zafrax, dropping it back down to Beatrix. That's a deep shot off of the backboard. Dead able to make that save, but Batrax still going to try to regain possession at mid-pitch, pops it up. Faster team should get there first, and it will be Batrax yet again. Gets demoed for their effort. Ball in possession of Marsden. Slow flick, caught by Batrax. Dead. Looking play off the wall, but Batrax does enough to stop the initial push. S as well, slowly inching that ball towards that blue goal. Zafrax, backward play, weak touch, Dead fall through, stopped by Frank. Batrax now looking to follow through underneath. Oh, defenders bumping into each other, but Batrax is the one who does stay clean and is able to get that ball right back to the Marsden side. A minute 20 into this overtime right now is a bit of a longer overtime. S flicking it up, caught by Frank, looking to pass it down to pretty much anyone, almost to himself. Zafrax, no power behind that flick, so it will be caught by Dead. It makes Frank miss, but not Zafrax. Ball going to the wall. Frank pushing it towards the net. S should be able to bang this one, and bang it he does. All the way to that opposite corner. Dead looks for a pinch, but defenders get there first, and now it's actually a bit of a back pass. Dead missing the boost as well. Definitely an awkward play out of Dead. One that Zafrax is going to try to punish. Ball does not quite get to the backboard. Good backboard defense from Dead on that recovery, looking to play it through. As Frank does make one attacker miss, but not Dead. Dead gets the bump as well. Demolition too far back. 1v1 situation. Triax is not able to beat out Frank, and now Dead. Possession themselves, looking to get it to the corner. Frank catches it in the position. S shot, saved by Batrax, who still is going full try-hard, might I add. That is an important development, because that means you see shots like this. Dead is a weak touch, but is still far enough to the side. So Frax, backboard setup, shot from Frank, stopped by the defender. I believe that was S with that last second save, and now Demolition looking for that counterattack, gets a good angle. Frank, though, did rotate back, able to make that save. Back down the middle of the pitch we go. Caught by Dead. Ball sailing to the middle. It will be Batrax looking for an OC attack. This is an open net. Batrax just has to push it straight, but he cannot do it. That open net. Somehow the ball doesn't go in again. Ball in a dangerous spot, but no attackers there to punish. OC Redbacks, they need to have that one back, but it's not going to be the case. 3 minutes into this overtime, still sitting 2 apiece, obviously, because it's overtime. Demolition looking to take it to that other corner, but too many defenders are there at the moment. Batrax actually going across the pitch with this one. Eventually a defender steps forward, but Demolition gets demoed themselves. Frank goes for the flick, does get pre-jumped by S. That said, 50-50 goes in favor initially of the OC Redbacks. S now up with the ball. Everyone swings, everyone misses. Dead gets the goal, and in 3 minutes, 24 seconds, Marsden moves to a 2-0 lead. Just a very unfortunate time for Frank to unfortunately not make that correct read. After a very tense overtime, and remembering, for the second game in a row, we had a equalizing goal in the final seconds, the final moments of regulations to take us to an overtime. This overtime goes well over 3 minutes, and what is definitely becoming a very, very intense back-and-forth game as we get ready to go to our third game in this one. Marsden, they're squeaking these wins by, but they are very, very tight. OC Redbacks, I feel like this is the first time that this Marsden team has really been challenged quite like this, and it's unfortunate that OC has lost those first 2 games. However, a reverse sweep can still happen. This is the first time I've actually believed realistically that a reverse sweep is a very, very strong possibility. The OC Redbacks, they just need to get stronger touches on that ball. A lot of times they're in position where they have like these open nets and these good situations, but they just haven't been able to attack it fast enough. So we'll be very, very curious to see if the Redbacks can get more consistent touches, can play while playing at that fast pace as we get ready to go into what could be our third and final match of this series. Players are on the pitch. Timer's counting down, but I'm only seeing 2 Redbacks. So I'm a little bit curious what's happening here. It does look like the Redbacks are still playing, but they look to be a member down, and this could be pretty critical. Sort of curious what the go might be right here. It looks like they're content to play through it, but Triax push it up. Zafrax will be the one to catch it on the way through. This would be devastating, though, for this OC Redback side if they are forced to play this 2v3. As Demolition looking to go straight down the middle, because we're missing Frank. Frank is the player who is no longer here. I'm not sure where Frank has gone. Still some shots on target. Zafrax actually is going to be putting it up, but Demolition now with space to work with. Doesn't quite get that next shot. S, for the record, has just been sitting in the goal. So they could be just playing a 2v2 at this stage until Frank returns. I think that is actually what is happening. So kudos to Marston for the sportsmanship if that is the case. As you can see, yeah, if S doesn't push forward right now, okay, well, nope, S is playing, so never mind that. S is actually going to go the distance, tries to get the shot on target. It was a fake all along, playing to that man's advantage in the 2v3. However, Frank is back, and Frank is scoring goals. So the dramatic entrance comes up big for the Redbacks. Frax beats out one defender with a flick, sets up Frank, who bangs it in. It was the Frank KO out of nowhere. No one saw him returning back to the ring, and yet here we are, 1-0 right now for the OC Redbacks. Once again, they have a lead. Now, they had a 1-0 lead back in our opening game. Unfortunately, they let it slip at the very, very end. Ball in a scary spot. More attacking pressure coming from the Redbacks. It's a semi-open net, but S is able to get a very, very clutch and critical save. Now Dead, playing off the wall, throws it to the center. Bumps miss, but Triax is still able to clear it through. Triax, space and boost to work with. Tries to push it down. Demolitia gets an awkward touch. Dead gets a bump. Shaw, Frank with a shot. S is able to make that save. I think that S realistically does stand for save at the rate that this is going. Demolitia does get it to the backboard. Tries to push it forward. Dead pops it as well. Ball in the box. Frank goes for the 50, losing out. Triax now. Space to work with, but no boost. You'd expect the defense to make the save, but you can see Frank going for the demo. Sorry, that was the Frax who pushed forward for the demo, and that's what opens the door for Frank. 2-0 in favor of the Redbacks, who have the largest lead of the series thus far. That was just a great play from Zafrax to push forward, get that demo, recognizing that Batrax did not have the boost, and that creates the opportunity for that goal. So, 3 minutes remaining, 2-0 lead right now in favor of this Redbacks team. Now, they are down 2-0 in this series, and this lead is now 2-1 as Dead gets a sick goal off of that kickoff. Watching the replay again, Dead gets it up to the backboard, is able to redirect it and push it right into that open net. Dead, when Dead is switched on, is just far too good, and they are definitely keeping Marsden very competitive in this matchup. S pushing it down the middle, but Trax looking to go the other way, playing through the corner. Demolitia actually drops it down, followed through by Dead, keeping it in the air. Frank now right back that other way. A goal, once again, by the Redbacks would be monumental in terms of just trying to keep Marsden out of this game number 3. As the Frax looking to play off the wall. Doesn't quite get there in time. Actually, will turn it into a shot. It's a fake! And the fake nearly works. It still sets up Frank, and Frank will push it in. That fake was critical. As you can see on the replay right here, the double commit on the fake opens the door for Frank to just pop that in. Dead could not quite recover in time. 2:20 remaining, 2-goal lead. Things are looking up for the Redbacks in our game number 3. Ball slowly rolling towards that net. Zafrax goes up. Oh, was trying to go for a bit of a backward pass to Frank. It almost looked like that he wanted the reset there. Still, though, S drops the ball right in the box. Triple commit on defense. Dead should be able to punish. Gets it off the backboard. Where's the next attacker? Demolitia too slow. And Batrax gets the bump onto S, which means Frank should be able actually to get a decent clear. As Dead is forced to take it to that wall. Looking to pass it back to the center of the pitch. S catches it, keeping it inching forward. This is kind of getting into a clutch situation right now for the Marsden side. If they want to take this third game, they need to get some goals in around now. Dead off of that wall, looking to pass it to S. Pops it up. Demolitia's got to go up for it, but with no boost. Instead, just sort of watches that ball fall. Dead again, applying that attacking pressure. Oh, can't quite follow through just yet. S instead will be set up off of that backboard. Nope, not quite. And a booming clear actually coming from the Redbacks as a minute 20 remaining. Time running out for Marsden. Doesn't look like we'll be getting out the brooms today, at least not in this first series. Off of the roof we go. S inching that ball forward. Frank from underneath, though, still keeping the attacking pressure in favor of this blue side. Actually turns it into a shot on target. Save made. Batrax, again, shot from mid-pitch. Double commit on defense. Batrax, if he can get the redirect, not quite able to. 54 seconds to go. And a demo onto Demolitia. Yet again, Demolitia has just been demoed so much, and S with that miss. That might have been the last gasp, perhaps. Frax nearly pushes it in, ball in the danger zone. Patrix will push it through. 4-1. That should end game number 3. See that right there? Zafrax just doing a good job using that crossbar, setting up Atrax to just push it in. Absolutely phenomenal effort coming from this Redbacks team. As we get ready to go, S is going to go for the double touch, isn't quite able to connect on it. Now you see Demolitia on the return. Ooh, can't quite pop it in. Frank should be able to accept. Dead actually able to make the save on this instance. 30 seconds remaining. Batrax throwing the ball right back across the center of the pitch. Everyone goes up for it, but instead it will be S who gets there first. Again, pushing the ball the other way. 15 seconds remaining as this one will be winding down. Kind of just going to go for one of those morale goals, it looks like, on either side, but no one's ever going to connect. Or will they? I take that back, but Triax still going full try hard, even with the lead. Does get yet another goal as we see the replay right here. Just a nice bang out of a Triax. Puts it in. 5-1 now the score. As the good times continue for this blue team. Zafrax actually pushing it towards the orange goal. But time has hit 0. And unless we see some crazy 0-second goal, that will do it for our third game. We do get ourselves a proper series as the Redbacks do take one back. So we could be seeing that reverse sweep. I said before, the Redbacks are challenging this Marsden team in a way that we haven't really seen Marsden challenged yet. Batrax and Zafrax are each very, very strong players. And Frank, after coming back in at that timely moment, definitely seemed to turn that momentum around. And now Marsden has a lot of work cut out for them. A lot of work coming into this next game. Hello, everybody, by the way, once again. So I'm very curious if OC Redbacks can keep this going. Frank definitely was that X factor in between games 2 and 3. Frank is playing at another level right now. Definitely was the best player in that game. Just was very, very fast all the time on these attacks. But Triax as well, continuing to kind of play this sort of all-around strong player. I'm seeing great saves as well as great setups. So this OC Redbacks team, they look like they have a serious chance at sort of beating down this side of Marsden. And the crazy thing about this as well, Dead still probably the strongest player actually playing. I'm still waiting to see if S and Demolition now can play with a little bit more consistency to kind of help prop up and support Dead and maybe get them over that finish line. Either way, we are onto the pitch for game number 4. And already Dead is putting points in. It only took 9 seconds, as you can see. S with that setup just butts that ball right in front of the box. Frank, it's a weak clear, and Dead gets that 1-0 lead off of a great shot. So, once more, it is the Redbacks back against the wall. They still are in must-win situations right now if they want to dethrone that #1 team in Conference A. Ball off of the backboard. Demolitia doesn't like the look of it. Instead, gives it over to Dead, who's going to go for a double touch and might actually have it. Save was made by Batrax from underneath. S unable to make that defensive save, and now Batrax has space to work with, gets it off the backboard. Dead, woo, goes for the big save right there. Unfortunately, couldn't make contact with that ball. It would have been a highlight play for sure. Still attacking the Redbacks. Dead, wide open pitch straight down the middle. Couldn't quite get the bang needed, and that does give Frank enough time to recover, make that save. Ball still slow rolling in the center of the pitch. It will be Demolition who gets there first, and actually doesn't get demolished for once. So perhaps a change in fortune for Demolitia as S actually loses possession to Patriax. Gets it off the backboard, 50-50, won by S. Gets the pinch off the wall as well. 1v1, Patriax needs to make this save and is able to do so. So the defense able to recover. It really seems like both teams have just had slower counterattacks, unfortunately, so far in this one. So I would like to see the velocity of each side's counterattacks kind of pick up a little bit. Defenses are given too much time to sort of react and recover for missteps or misplays. Something to take note of, as S is going to go for a touch off the backboard. Couldn't quite find that accurate shot. Frank now looking to recover perhaps. Instead it will go to Dead. Dead can't make the read. Batrax now across the center of the pitch. S catches the ball. Batrax now going to try and set something up. Demolitia instead actually goes for a bump through the corner. Dead now actually tries to get that pinch on the corner. Follow through. Not quite there. It's just, we've been stuck in this corner for a long time, actually. Finally, we're able to break free from it. A minute has passed without a goal. 2 minutes realistically now, in one of the lower scoring games. Very reminiscent of game 1 thus far, as both teams focusing a bit more on defense perhaps than establishing that attacking pressure. Frank with the unforced error doesn't make contact with the ball. 2-0 now in favor of Marsden. Watching that replay, you can see Frank had to make contact with it. It looked like there was also another defender underneath him. Didn't quite see who that was. But a 2-0 lead right now in favor of Marsden, who are up in the series 2-1. They just got to hold on for about 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and they will be taking this series. And just icing this game is Dead, who finds yet another goal off of the kickoff. Watch this replay. A ceiling shot to put it in, bouncing it off of the ground. Great dribble work. Fantastic mechanical prowess. Dead 100% cementing themselves as the MVP of this series. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Dead, again, the one with possession of the ball, but S is able to steal it through from underneath. Here we go. Opportunity perhaps for the Redbacks, but not quite able to capitalize on it just yet. Dead now. Actually looking to play out the backboard. Gets the second touch. Demolition from underneath. Cannot follow through. And again, the attacking effort is stifled. The Frax, maybe, just maybe, can get something going. The Redbacks, they are running out of time, and they need to get at least one goal on the board to maybe start to shift this momentum, but the attacking pressure just has not been there. Now Frank actually has a bit of a breakaway opportunity. Pinch goes in his favor, needs just one more touch, but is unable to find it. So Frax instead trying to set up the Triax, who does get the shot. S there for the save. S has had so many saves this series. The defensive effort coming from S has been absolutely phenomenal. The attacking side, not quite there yet, but defensively, S has been looking super strong and has been realistically one of those big reasons that it's been so difficult for the OC Redbacks to get any consistent attacking pressure going, because not only is S making good saves, but these saves are also touched and positioned so well that it makes the Redbacks hesitant to keep these attacks going. And then you get players like Dead who can work with the space given as a result and just make great things happen. So Marsden 100% has been dominating this fourth and possibly final game. Looking more like probable final game at this stage, although S isn't quite able to connect on the half flip. Still will go to Dead, looking to clear it through the wall. Tries to drop it back down for Demolition, but it's actually S who kind of intercepts the ball from their own teammate. Ball in the box is actually a big clear from Frank, but Dead did rotate back. Save is made. Looking to play off the backboard once more. Dead actually going to play off the ceiling instead. Frank still gets touches, still gets attacking pressure there, but still no real shots. And with 30 seconds remaining, 3-goal differential, Frank puts one on target. The save is made by Dead. S on the fall through keeps Triax from scoring. One last chance from Zafrax. That's not going to be good. Defense recovers in time. Despite the miss, S is still there for the save. 17 seconds, 3 goals. It's not going to happen, and it will be Marsden, the team in first place in Conference A, maintaining their spot and securing their position as #1 possibly in this tournament. Demolition gets one last goal in these dying seconds as well. As if you weren't sure, even Demolition can pull off those aerials. 4-0. 8 seconds. This one should be wrapping up right about now. Should be worth noting as well that the OC Redbacks won, the team that's currently sitting in 4th place actually, is kind of struggling a bit against SDMC, so a rough day for Ormiston at the start. Either way, Marsden State High School, they get the 3-1 series victory. They do so being challenged for the first 3 games, but game 4 was entirely in their control. Dead 100% MVP of this series. I mean, played absolutely phenomenally. 4 shots, 2 goals, 2 saves, 1 assist. He's the only player without any zeros on any stat line is Dead in that last game. The DS on defense as well looked super, super strong. Demolition probably still is working to play at that same level as their teammates, however, did enough to get 1 aerial goal and definitely is improving fast. So this Marsden team, there's a reason why I consider them one of the favorites in this tournament. It's not necessarily just because, you know, they're the #1 seed right now in Conference A, but they're just so, so strong. Dead in particular is proven to be that type of player that can take a series over. For the Redbacks, well, they're not done yet. They still have 1 more game later today against, you know, their sister team, the OC Redbacks 1, who could be in a bit of trouble if they continue to drop matches and games against STMC Gold. Either way, though, we won't really find out where we're going to go until we come back from a quick break. I will say this, our next match between Chisholm Maroons versus St. Edmunds 1 is going to be a doozy, so do not go too far. More Rocket League when we return.
Should come back home.
I've been thinking about you lately, and all the places that you could take me. Why you so shy? You got me going wild, 'cause I've been saying that you got it, baby, give it to me. See my lightning, you gonna feel my thunder. Show me how you do it, come on baby, say it loud. Got you on my mind now, let me see your style. I'm on my way tonight, oh yeah, yeah. 'Cause I think about you, Cause I think about what I think about you. I wanted to make you see that you were the one for me, but there was enough 'cause you're up and down and then everything's the same. Baby, how do I make you listen? Don't wanna be through 'cause I wanna put you, baby, you and me tonight. Don't need to behave, gonna take me away, baby. Till one time, and the thought of you drives me crazy. You don't need to worry, 'cause you know that you got me. Cause I think about you, Cause I think
Sees it sail overhead, mid-thigh now. With possession, not quite, actually lets it go. 3-2, drive forward and bang that thing. It's a delayed shot, but it's a good shot. You saw the window and 3-2 executes on it. 1-0 now in favor of the Redbacks as we watch this goal again. RB trying to make a read on the ball. She does get there eventually, but still has it kind of still back on him. A lot of swings, a lot of misses. Harvey's just making everyone look a bit foolish. The shot will come from mid-thigh, and that's going to be a goal. And for the first time this series, actually, SDMC Gold has a 1-0 lead. 10 seconds remaining, 2-goal difference. It is not going to happen today. OC Redbacks are going to be 3-0ing the defending champs, and they are doing so to secure their spot in the top 4 currently. Legend as well goes for a clear from the corner, but you can see those tight rotations, particularly out of Hype Doctor, just being a thorn in the side. A pinch clear straight down the middle. That's going to go in, and the first goal goes to the Marauders. It might be our final game should the Marauders get that victory. They're on the attack right now. Avail make a read. Actually plays a bit further back. He's going to let Hype Doctors go forward, and now we see Avail with the booming shot. And that's going to go in from across the pitch. Avail might have finally woken up in this series. We're going to a Game 3 overtime. Again, this is St. Edmunds needing a win to keep this series alive. Trey treads, able to get the touch initially. Shot's going to come from P the Legend. That's going to be a goal. And the Marauders find their first victory in a Game 3 overtime for this season. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to XPESL. I just messed that up. Sorry. Welcome back, everybody, to XPHSL. Look, ESL happened over the weekend. My mind's still thinking big-time Rocket League. But no, this is XP. This is high school Rocket League with some of the best schools throughout all of Queensland. I am Formal, who apparently, after removing my beard, removed my brain as well, as we get ready for our final round in this group stages. Chisholm Maroons are going to be taking on ST Edmonds C1. Dyslexia attacks are hard. Yes, I am. I wanted to write, the beautiful word wood here, but instead I wrote whoop. I wanted to write whoop for whoop whoop, but instead it's whop, and also I wanted to show off the wonders of green marker on green whiteboard. Either way, though, we still have to go over some of our standings just to sort of paint a better picture of where we are sitting today. You take a look right now in Conference A. Marsden, who we just saw win before, are now 9-0 with that victory, have sort of secured that #1 position in the standings. They will be the #1 seed for Conference A. OC Redbacks 2 and OC Redbacks 1 actually are going to start playing right about now. So as you can tell, that's a very critical game, especially with STMC Gold. I believe they actually beat Redbacks 1 earlier as well. So that fight for 4th place, that cutoff, very, very contested in Conference A. Meanwhile, over at Conference B, where we will be finishing our regular season, it is St. Edmunds C2 and Chisholm Maroons atop in 1st and 2nd, but C1 right there kind of back in 3rd place. So More importantly, for C1, a victory here 100% secures them in that top 4 with the way how the Marauders in green are chasing. And when I say Marauders, I really mean both Marauders. A loss could be devastating for St. Edmunds, and they could lose their spot. Similarly as well, Chisholm Green, if they kind of lose out, they're going to be in trouble. Now, Maroons have already secured their spot, so they are for sure in that top 4, but it's all about positioning for them. It is a number 2 versus a number 3 place team right now, and that is where we are going to be kicking things off in just a few moments. So, players should be jumping onto the pitch now. We should be cutting right into that game as soon as possible. St. Edmunds versus Chisholm Catholic College. CCC versus STEC, if we want to keep doing acronyms. Either way, the players are on the pitch, so we are underway. This is our final regular season game. Now, talk a bit more about what happens next week in just a few moments. We've still got to play this last one through. On the blue side, it is Chisholm. In orange, it is St. Edmunds, and we are underway. It is the Mountain with no dew. Gets a good touch off of that kickoff. Can't quite get that follow through, however, and the defense will be there for the St. Edmunds side. In fact, they're going to turn into a counterattack as well. Lasso should be able to have this deed to get up for it. Wins out on the 50-50. Marshall looking to follow through the corner. Gets to the ball first. Pushes it back. I like the positioning. Unfortunately, Chisholm not quite ready to turn that into a shot. Savage Yonks unable to follow through from underneath. We've been seeing, I feel like this St. Edmunds C1 almost every week right now. Really have gotten to know this team and their play style. I'm very curious to see how they will perform in this one. Savage Yonks in particular, when he can switch on, is one of the best on this pitch. Similarly as well, have seen strong performances from pretty much everyone on the team. It was Avail last week, though, who had a bit of a rough showing, and this could be a good day for redemption, perhaps, for the St. Edmunds side. I'm hoping to see a strong performance out of Avail as Marshall tries to push it past the box, but it's Avail who nearly gets the breakaway. Lasso, though, puts a return shot back on target. Defenders bumping into each other in the goal. Savage Yonks straight over the top and over the middle. Does get it to Marshall. Second touch by Savage Yonks. Play through the corner. Setup is there. Mountain with no dew. Risky clear across the box, but does beat out Avail. Now Lasso looking to follow it through. Does get that next touch. Is off at that backboard. Ball in a dangerous spot, but Savage Yonks, first one there, able to clear it through. Mountain with no dew. Good touch. Back to the center of the pitch. Pushing it forward yet again. Nearly turns it into a shot. Not able to find anything just yet. Now Savage Yonks. Slow play out of the corner. Doesn't quite get a touch with the ball. Instead, we Mountain with no dew, playing off the backboard. Pass set up for Marshall to take that shot. A little bit too slow on it, unfortunately. And defense hasn't been that challenged yet. Chisholm's been doing a good job in setting up these shots. However, they just haven't really been able to get that last big banging shot through. I will notice this, though. St. Edmunds has been leaving their backboard quite exposed, and Chisholm is not afraid to sort of use that backboard for those passes. So one of these is going to have to break soon. Either St. Edmunds is going to have to start playing off that backboard, or Chisholm will eventually find that goal. And I'm leaning towards Chisholm finding that goal in the near future. Teams are very reactive sometimes in Rocket League. I want to see a bit more proactivity, perhaps, coming from the St. Edmunds defense. That said, they have been doing a good job thus far, obviously. Still a 0-0 scoreline, very similar to our first series. Although Lasso has a chance right here. He touches it towards the goal, and it's going to go in. It was an awkward clear attempt coming from St. Edmunds, and you can see it again. It was Hype Octros, actually, trying to pass it back. Needed a bit more velocity behind that clear in order to get it to Avail like they were intending. No powers there, and the punish from Lasso, too accurate. So 1-0 in favor of Chisholm. Another opportunity, perhaps this time, though, for Chisholm. Once again, the ball slowly rolls in as Marshall gets one off the kickoff. Savage Yonks, a very unfortunate touch yet again for this orange side. They're going for these defensive passes across the center of the pitch, and unfortunately for St. Edmunds, Chisholm Maroons are just a bit faster. They're playing and expecting it. When you're going against a team that's rotating as tightly as the Chisholm Maroons are right now, going for these types of pass plays are very, very risky. You're better off almost kind of going, I guess, tight spacing instead. Go for that first 50 and then have the faster player immediately behind. Either that or maybe shorten those passes across the middle of the pitch, but don't go for these long ones across the center right now because twice Chisholm Maroons have scored essentially off of that same setup. So they need to be cautious. That's an awkward pinch. Okay. Look, sometimes balls are just going to find their way into nets. Lasso forcing that pinch, gets the demo, gets the goal. 3-0 in favor of the Chisholm Maroons as this game is looking very heavily favored for the blue side. It was so close, too, for the first half of this game, actually. We were looking at, like, a tie game where both teams were evenly matched, but it feels like the floodgates have been opened and double commits and missing on defensive fail, trying to get that pinch off the backboard. Instead, sets up Marshall. Cannot quite get that second touch. Near scoring opportunity for the Chisholm side as they continue to put forth a dominating performance. Shot was on target. Save made. Mount with no do. Puts it up for Lasso. Looking to follow it through. Marshall has a chance. Can't connect on the shot, but Mountain with no do will. And that's going to be a 4-0 game. Lead right now. As we continue, we can take a look at that replay from Mountain with no do. He puts it in. So 4-0 right now. Chisholm Maroons. Very, very comfortable. Looking like they have taken this first one. No one touches the kickoff. No one. Both teams went for the fake. The double fake. One of the most elusive things you will ever see in Rocket League, and one of the most hilarious things as well, either way. Only a minute remaining as Hyped Octros still trying to get some attacking pressure, still trying to find a goal. No one's able to find it just yet. Demo happening in the corner. Let's see what Marshall can do with the ball. Looks to pass it back towards the center of the pitch. Pinch actually goes in favor of St. Edmunds. Off of the backboard, shot coming from Savage Yonks. It's still off of that backboard. Lasso with a chance, trying to make that raid. Savage Yonks swings, Savage Yonks misses. Mountain with no do, keeps pushing it forward, playing from underneath. Ball in the corner now. Savage Yonks, nice touch. But, oh, loses control of the car, actually. A little bit awkward. Still, this game definitely seems to be wrapping it up for now, as it will be a Chisholm Maroons victory, a very convincing one at that. And again, for the St. Edmunds team, they haven't secured that top four yet. They desperately need to win this series, and not the correct foot that you want to be stepping off on at all, unfortunately for them. So maybe they can bring it back, but not like this, as Lasso was able to score yet another goal. See right there, it just looked to me like the St. Edmunds side was starting to play a little bit over-aggressive, you know, desperate to try and get something going, and was not going to be the case in this one. So, timer will tick down. 5-0, most likely going to be our final score unless we see something absolutely crazy, but that's not to be the case. A strong, strong victory for this Chisholm Maroons side. 4-0, the kind of victory that you can build a 3-0 sweep off of, some might say. Lasso in particular, those tight offensive rotations, reading St. Edmunds on their defensive passing attempts and constantly turning into goals was just too much for this orange side to handle. Furthermore, as well, for St. Edmunds, they need to vary up their defense a fair bit. They're kind of playing too much just sort of straight in the box and then looking for a pass almost from corner to corner. They're not playing backboard. They're not pushing forward. They're just playing reactive passing defense, and it's just not been working out for them. They need to get a bit more variety. I want to see St. Edmunds play the backboard more. I want to see them rely on solo plays and 50-50s a bit more, and make sure they can establish control over their own boost as well. These are sort of three key elements that St. Edmunds should be able to capitalize on and see immediate results. So be curious if they are able to push towards it. For this Chisholm Maroons side, well, obviously keep going what's working for them. Until those passes stop, I think Lasso is going to continue to sort of intercept them and keep playing that style. It's really up for St. Edmunds to be the proactive team as we get back into our second match. It's also very possible, too, that, you know, you got to get the do to Mountain with no do. That could be the other big contributing factor in this one, as, you know, without the do holding Mountain back, good things happen perhaps as we're continuing along. Opening kickoff is leading towards once again a Chisholm attack. Mountain with no do, unable to find that goal just yet. Back across the center. Now we see Lasso actually going to go try to follow through. Oh, no boost, so instead gives up possession. I like the demo coming from Savage Yonks as well, as Hyped Octros looks to challenge. Marshall wins the 50, goes for yet another. Savage Yawk wins this one, drops it down to Avail. Teammates bumping into each other, though, and they'll get possession right on back to the Chisholm side. Lasso straight down the middle. Hype Octros needs that good touch. Nearly got dunked on. I liked what Lasso was attempting right there. It was a very tough play to pull off. As Hype Octros now going to go for a second touch off at the backboard. Puts it up from underneath. Stills Hype Octros with possession. 50 does not go their way. Savage Yonks keeps the ball in the air. Marshall, again, aerial game in the past has been favoring this Chisholm side, but Hype Octros still going to go for it. Mal with no juice steals it away. Savage Yonks again going for a defensive pass. Marshall was there for the catch. Couldn't quite turn it into a shot, but these defensive passes every single time are just so risky coming from this St. Edmunds side. They need to find a variety in their defensive clears. Otherwise, they might get punished, although this time it does work out. Setup was there, but no fall through of the shot just yet. Hype Octros was playing a bit too far back to follow it through. Granted, Hype Octros was the third man. It was actually, I think, Avail who needed to push forward in that instance. Lasso, though, still going to try and play through the corner. No one catching it just yet. Lasso will be retreating back. Hype Octros swings and misses. Marshall goes for the 50, but actually loses to Avail. Through the corner we go. Shot from Hype Octros. Mount with no do in a bad position. Avail just needs to redirect it and will get that goal. 1-0 in favor of St. Edmunds as they get their first lead of the series. Just a great touch by Avail, straight over the top. Crossed up that defense, made it look far too easy, so a good showing from Avail right there. Now it will be this Chisholm side back on the back foot. Granted, they didn't get their first goal until the halfway point in game number 1, and then they found 4, but Hype Octros is already going to find a second for this St. Edmunds team. Actually kind of set it up himself as well. It was the awkward clear attempt coming from Chisholm that really allowed Hype Octros to be able to recover from their own setup and turn it into a goal. So 2-0 now in favor of this orange team, looking to equalize this series at 1 apiece. Ball continues to roll through the corner. Hype Octros with control, but Mal with no do, stealing it off of him. Looking for the teammate follow through. Marshall now has a chance, bangs it off of that backboard. It's a good position ball. Mal with no do spikes it. Hyped Octros somehow got behind and with the angle to make the save. And now we're seeing the clear go the other way. Lasso was all the way back, throws it to Mal with no do. It's a pass back to Lasso. The shot is there. Avail can make the save. Good patient defense coming from St. Edmunds at what looked to be a very deadly setup and shot. Now with no do though is going to put one in. Finding that angle. It looked like it was a double commit into the corner out of the St. Edmunds side, as you can see right here. Yep, Savage Yonks and Avail each commit to the corner. Hype Octros pushed too far forward as well, and that just means Mount with no do can throw it across to the other side. 2-1. It was 4 goals in about 2 minutes in game number 1, so definitely not a case of this Chisholm side being done just yet. Demo in the goal as well. It's an open net, but no! Marshall completely whiffs the ball. Awkward situation right there. The setup was so good. I believe the demo actually did come through from Mount with no do. Avail also swings and misses. A couple awkward plays right now. The unforced errors starting to increase in their frequency due to the pressure these teams must be feeling. Marshall able to hold on to the ball, gets it to the wall, but Avail is there to cut it off. Passing it back to Savage Yonks, who puts actually a relatively weak touch on that ball. Mount with no do, able to fall through, gets it over 2 defenders. That's Hype Octros, the third defender's a double commit on the shot. Lasso does get a better touch on the ball, and it equalizes this game with only 90 seconds remaining. Turning this one into a tight scoring affair. As we continue along. 90 seconds to go. Back and forth game number 2. However, something about this Chisholm Maroons team, they just turn it on when under pressure. As you can see, another shot coming from Lasso. Save made by Savage Yonks. It was a bit too slow, and now Marshall racing back on defense. Lasso, though, is able to get across the pitch, actually cuts off the attack. Looking to go the distance themselves. Gets another touch. Open net. 3-2 in favor of the Chisholm Maroons. Great play by Lasso, with able to follow this pass up the pitch. Gets the touch, breaks 2 defenders. Avail too slow on their own rotation. Opens the net. A great goal coming from this Chisholm Maroons side. And kind of like I was saying, this team can come back from, it looks like, any sort of deficit, and now they are in that driver's seat once more with a minute remaining. It's the Chisholm Maroons trying to hold on and take this next game, although Marshall awkwardly throws the ball backwards behind all the attackers, is forced to go up over that backboard. Hyped Octros, unable to keep that pressure there. Ball rolling back towards the open net. Adale gets a touch on the ball, but not a clear, and now Marshall gets it back off the backboard once more. Pass from Mount with no due to Lasso, and that was one of the deadliest passes and shots you will see in Rocket League. Watch this again. Marshall, backboard setup, Mount with no due, finds that perfect pool shot angle, it looked like, to just get around from being snookered. And of course, Lasso was going to be there for that strike. That is a fantastic fourth goal, and it has been 4 unanswered goals right now for Chisholm Maroons. 2 games in a row where they get 4 goals in the second half of the game itself. And this Chisholm Maroons team, they are playing with a conviction that they want to be that number 2 seeded team. They want to really make their mark and, hey, give their sister team that best chance of qualifying as well. 15 seconds to go. Chisholm Maroons in complete control of this series. St. Edmunds C1. This was a team, you know, at the start of the season, I felt that C1 was probably going to be one of the favorites in this tournament, but that is just being challenged today as Mountain with no due puts on yet another goal to make it 5-2. Watching this again, Mountain with no due just gets it right underneath that crossbar, just sort of squeaks it in. And this is a fantastic showing. Only 2 seconds left, and this is going to be game 2 coming to a close. Marshall should let it drop, and there we go. So Chisholm Maroons gets it done, and you can see the GG's coming out. Good to see the sportsmanship both ways, and a 2-0 lead right now for this Chisholm side. Lasso continuing to prove to be one of the star players in this league. Mountain with no due, doing pretty well themselves, and Marshall, even in that game, had an improvement performance from game number 1. So Chisholm Maroons starting to fire on all cylinders, and unfortunately, Savage Yonks is actually the player who kind of had a dip from what was to be expected of them. Avail is starting to pick up their play and is looking stronger and stronger, but not the case overall. That said, though, it should be worth noting, this is what I tried to write before. I found the do for Mountain with no do. It's right here. See, when it was upside down, that's when you kind of got that weird word before. But no, we have found the do. Trust me. I understand that, yes, this is magic whiteboard that when I draw on it, it becomes see-through. That's just sort of how it works. It's my new highly advanced whiteboard. But knowing that I have the do here for Mountain with no do when this game is finished, hopefully will inspire him to play even better than what we've seen thus far as we continue with this one. This is game number 3, 2-0 in favor of the Chisholm Maroons. If they take this one, they will take the series in a clean sweep. And Mountain with no due already just zooming down that pitch. Gets a touch back towards the center. Triple commit on defense. Leaves a net exposed. Hype Octros barely able to get back to make that save. Panic defense still coming from the St. Edmunds side. However, it's a less aggressive Chisholm Maroons, so doesn't get punished just yet. Marshall dropping it to Mount with no due. Doesn't quite get the flick that they wanted. Defense should be able to hold it, though. Marshall will pass it back. Lasso gets the shot. Hype Octros barely gets in the way. Now it will be the Hype trying to find the counterattack. Instead, pass it back to Avail. Doesn't connect on the pass. Desperation play from Savage Yonks to try to get the ball into the corner. Marshall already there. Just unable to get a touch on the ball. Everyone's miffing right now. Finally, Hype Octros ends the insanity. Looking to get a St. Edmunds attack going. Ball slowly rolling towards the net, but Lasso there for that save. Next touch will come from Savage Yonks. Still attacking that goal. Marshall from underneath gets a late flick, but that could go the distance right now. Savage Yonks tries to make the read, drops it down in the box. Lasso, of course, is the one who will be there. 1-0 for Chisholm as they look to get in control of this third and possible final game. Watching that again, it was a desperate touch from Savage Yonks to try and stop that lob shot from going in, but the faster team always gets to the ball first. Lasso easily has been the fastest player on the pitch thus far. He's the one who gets there and takes that 1-0 lead. Now, 3:45 to go. 1-0 game. Plenty of time still for this orange team to get some semblance of a comeback going, but it's not going to happen like that. Mountain with no due adds to the lead as Chisholm Maroons now in complete control of this one. Marshall to Mountain. 2-2 clean. That shot hit way too hard. Absolutely a banger of a shot. You can see, you know, the nice one come down. Like, even St. Edmunds has to acknowledge how good that shot was, and things are going from bad to worse for St. Edmunds. Watching this replay again, just sort of an awkward kickoff, and Savage Yonks own goals it, who kind of said this before, Savage Yonks having a bit of a rough game today. That's definitely not going to help. So 3-0 in favor of this Chisholm team, and it's looking pretty comfortable that they are going to be getting that 3-0 sweep. You can see the defense has kind of broken down what was once a disciplined defense in games 1, and realistically for a lot of game 2 as well, just does no longer seems existent, unfortunately, for the St. Edmunds team. Now, again, seen these guys do some pretty crazy things, so I still believe St. Edmunds probably is going to qualify through. I might need to get confirmation on that, but either way, this team just not having a strong Game 3 showing as Marshall adds yet another one to the Chisholm scoreboard. So, I believe it was a couple weeks ago, I had a chat actually with a couple members of the Chisholm staff, and was sort of talking about this team and sort of how they approach the game. And if I recall correctly, they were very much we want to be a defense-focused team where it's all about that defense. If they can't score on us, well, we will win. And while I do agree with you, yes, defense does win championships, I still have always felt like Rocket League is a more attack-oriented game. The crazy thing about Chisholm right now, though, is they are attacking super well, but they're also defending well, 4-0, right? So, I don't know, sometimes you gotta take things from both. As you can see, Lasso even get those bumps on the attacking half to just try and mitigate the damage that Hype Octros can bring on their own counterattack. And so you can see, ball through that backboard will be slowed down for now. Savage Yonks puts it up, double commit on defense, actually has a tight situation of Vale across the middle of the pitch, caught by Mountain with no do, who's looking to chase after it. 2 minutes 10 to go before Chisholm most likely takes the series 3-0. Ball off that backboard. Oh, 2 swings, 2 misses, and Lasso taps it in. Yeah, look, you got to make contact with it. That really was 3 strikes. So there's strike 1, there's strike 2, and there's strike 3. 3 strikes, you're out. 5-0 now in favor of this Chisholm Maroon side. Very unfortunate for St. Edmunds. It's just the game has kind of lost complete control for them at this stage. I still think they're probably going to get one in this game because there always is one, and it might come right now. High Octros can't redirect that shot. Either way, a very, very great tournament thus far and a great showing from the Chisholm Maroon team. Very curious to see how they will go into the knockout stages, which will be starting next week. As minute 35 remaining, Hype Octros still going to try and play off that backboard. Actually looks to follow through as well. Lasso, though, on the shadow defense, bumps into a respawning Mountain with no do. That almost could have been a bad situation for Chisholm. Still, though, able to recover. And now here comes that counterattack. It won't quite get to the backboard. Hype Octros is able to get the touch. And plays like that from Hype Octros does, remind me that, this is still a very, very strong player. Like, these players are all high level, especially considering this is a high school league. It's just on this day, it really feels like Chisholm has kind of outclassed St. Edmunds. As play off of the backboard, no follow-through shot just yet. Lasso going to try to make that read. Oh, bit of an awkward mechanical foobar right there. Still, Mount with no do, able to make the save. And Marshall actually goes for the dunk, is successful in doing so. Mount with no do from underneath. Fakes going for the shot. Instead, it goes to Marshall, who will put it in. 6-0 now, and we might have a possible Brazil situation on our hands. That would be interesting. Everyone loves that good 7-1 scoreline. Avail in the chat, as you can say, this did not go to plan. I have to agree with that. Oh, another near kickoff goal right there for Mount with no do. Not quite going to get it. Lasso tries to spike it down. Doesn't quite find that net just yet. 30 seconds to go. We want to see 1 goal aside for that 7-1 scoreline. Look, I may or may not have been practicing my Portuguese for such an occasion. Do we get it? 15 seconds remaining. Mount with no do. Off of that backboard. Do we see that shot? Not quite. And that probably kills any chances we have of the Brazil scoreline as well. 5 seconds to go. It will be the 3-0 victory in favor of the Chisholm Maroons. they secure that top 2 finish in the conference. They will be going as favorites to make it to the semifinals. Heck, they might even go all the way to the finals. A strong, strong team nonetheless, that of Lasso, Marshall, and Mountain with no do. They will move on. Now, knowing that for St. Edmunds, they haven't been mathematically eliminated yet, I don't believe. I'm going to be very curious to see what those final standings would be. I'm sure all of you watching as well, supporting the St. Edmunds team, probably curious, but we got to wait for all those matches to finish, so we won't know for sure until it is all the games are all said and done. And if you want to know where your team is finishing, well, that is why we have this, beautiful XP Esports Discord. So please, please, please go there. You can bug Tennille. She will tell you the standings as soon as she knows, so don't bug her too much. If she doesn't know, it's because she doesn't know yet. But as soon as she knows, she'll be able to tell you, then you will all know, and then everyone will be happy, except for the teams that didn't qualify, in which case they will be mildly frustrated, but determined to come back better than ever next year. Or next semester, I should say. Not even next year, because we still might have another Rocket League season this semester, and that's exciting stuff. So, what it should be worth noting, though, that does bring us to the end of our Season 2 sort of regular season. Starting next week, it will be the playoffs. They will be played as a not best of 5 quarters and semifinals, best of 7 grand finals. It is single elims. So, top 4 teams from each conference will compete, and then sort of like the best team from each conference who makes it to that grand final will have one last showdown. That will be a best of 7. That will be in 2 weeks' time. Now, we can't really, stream every match live, but all the matches will be recorded, so you will be able to watch them on YouTube, similar to how we do the normal weeks. So all those matches will be recorded. You still will have that ability to go back, watch, and show off to your friends. We will be starting at that same time next week as well, which will be that 4:30 start time, which will be me again. Hello, you're stuck with me. Hopefully the beard will be back because I am definitely missing it. It's I'm not used to how smooth this all is. Either way, though, one last time, I'd like a big thank you to our sponsors, ZQ Racing, Canberra Havoc, Computer Alliance. Without them, couldn't really put together events like this. Thanks you to all the schools for competing and, going out there, giving this a go. A special thank you to all the teams who unfortunately did not qualify. We still appreciate you participating, and we do hope to see you again next semester. Thank you for everyone watching in that Twitch chat. I have been Formal. Have a great night, everybody.
Drinking and smoking yourself, don't even wanna try. Make room for somebody else. Oh, I just wanna hide out from under all these indecisions. Oh, make room for somebody